What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So I've been reading this book, right? And came out, I believe, back in 2015. It's called The First Family Detail. It was written by Ron Kessler, who I believe was a former Secret Service agent. And they interviewed a lot of retired Secret Service agents. I think they talked to active Secret Service agents who are speaking out of anonymity. And they go back to, I believe, all the way back to when Kennedy was president, as far as um, their interpretations of the character and how they were with agents, all the way to at the time Obama. Now this is before Trump and Biden were president, but they do talk about Joe Biden in the book from when he was vice president and his interactions with the Secret Service agents. They talk about the history of the Secret Service. They talk about how, despite the assassinations of Abraham Lincoln in 1865 and then James A. Garfield in 1881. It talked about how Congress and the government, or whatever, were hesitant upon. Um, they were very hesitant in assigning individuals to permanently um, guard the president. It was this feeling that the president belonged to the American people. People should have access to the president, this, that, or the other. But what slowly happened, I'm gonna get to the point in a minute. What happened was, initially there were 4 police officers assigned to the White House after Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. This declined to about 3 after a while. They got kind of hesitant. Then there was, I think, an incident that occurred when Grover Cleveland was president, where the number of police officers assigned went from 3 to 27, and then it went up to 37. All right, around the time that McKinley was president. And of course, as we know, McKinley was assassinated in 1901, and this is what led finally to them saying, you know what, the president needs to be guarded 24/7, and this is when Secret Service agents were assigned. They weren't called it at first, but ultimately that's what they became known as. But anyway, what's interesting to me in this book is how they talk about the worst couple that they ever had to deal with, and it was the Clintons, especially Hillary Clinton. Uh, they talk about how Hillary Clinton had no respect for Secret Service agents. They talked about how when she was in the White House, she did not like, for instance, let's say people who were ushers, cooks, electricians, maids, people who worked around the White House. If you actually gave her eye contact when she walks by, she would have you fired, probably, at the least reprimanded. She didn't even want to know you were in the room. So if she was going to enter a room, they would say, get out of the room. Or if you see her, hide under the table, hide behind a curtain. Like, she didn't want you in her presence. And one person made the mistake of, I think it was an electrician. He made the mistake of actually doing his job while she was in the White House. She chewed him out, berated him. Um, chewed him out. I don't know if he got fired, but I do remember reading that she had an usher, right? A black usher. The Clintons are all about, for black people, right? She cursed this black usher out who became friends with Barbara Bush. Barbara Bush was not computer literate, so he taught her how to use a laptop. He made the mistake of answering a phone call, which went through the White House from Barbara Bush, who was out of office then. She was no longer First Lady. And he was calling her simply to ask her a question about the laptop, right? When Hillary Clinton found out about this punk motherfucker, and I'm calling her a punk motherfucker, got this guy fired. And the guy was so blacklisted because of that. He couldn't find a job. He was a young black father with a family with 4 kids. He couldn't find a job for over a year, all because of some bullshit that she wanted to pull. I read about situations where if a Secret Service agent spoke to her, said, "How you doing, Mrs. First Lady?" She would either like not reply or glare at him. Or one time there was an incident where she told one of them, "Go fuck yourself." She has a problem with police officers. Um, she's just not. She's not a nice person, man. She might smile in front of the cameras, but then behind the cameras, or when the cameras aren't there, it's a totally different person. The Ice Woman, they would call it, right? And someone said something to the effect that she made Richard Nixon look like Mahatma Gandhi. And I mean, I think that's true. She's a horrible person. Another thing I remember reading about was that some of the Secret Service agents were talking about it was appalling how they treated the White House. Like Bill Clinton and his staff would have meetings where they would just throw shit everywhere, like as far as food. They'd be eating pizzas. Pizza boxes would be all over the goddamn floor, and pizza crumbs, and pepperoni pieces, and pizza crusts would be all on the goddamn floor, and they just did a lot of fucked up shit, man. You know, um, another thing that's widely known is when the Clintons left the White House back in 2001, supposedly they stole a lot of shit out of there. They stole a lot of shit that wasn't theirs. I'm not talking about things that was theirs when you know their own personal property. They took shit out of there that didn't belong to them, valuables, you know. So yeah, man, I just want to do this video to just showcase more of the Clintons and their classlessness.